Okay, yeah, hi, welcome back. Since last time, I have spent probably about 3 hours sanding the outside. We've gone to 80 grits so far, and I've got to be honest, my fingers are still numb. It's a lot of hard work, it's really dusty. I loathe sanding. As a professional joiner back in the workshop, I used to probably spend the bulk of my time was sanding in order to finish. I absolutely loathe it. So I think really this is probably going to go to 100 grit at most. We've got most of the tooling marks out, some are still left, you can just see a few. Since it's been lifted up here actually, it's brought a few of them out. So we will, those will be gone. At the moment it was just a case of moving the project on while we were waiting for the spares for the chainsaw. They're here today, so really sorting out the base. That's our next job. We're going to lay it out first and then we're going to cut it. We'll see how the chainsaw functions today. That circlip is on. I guarantee it's on, so if anything else happens, it's not the circlip. Let's get on with it, eh? Alright. So, the base is as we got the piece of timber, and as you can see, when whoever's cut this, not that they've done a bad job or anything, it's just a case of, it's quite rough. We've got a kind of a different plane here. So we're just going to tidy this up and get it so it actually sits true. I've ummed and ahed about how to do this, and this isn't ideal really. It would be nice if we could somehow work on it vertically, but it just isn't going to happen. So what we're going to do is mark it up, cut it, and then we're going to have to kind of try it and see, and there might be a little bit of adjusting. So, it'd be amazing if we had some sort of, 3-foot bar chainsaw and we could just go like that through, but we don't. We've got a 10-inch bar. So we'll just have to kind of work our way around. What we're going to do is just have a little nosy at it, and we really want to get this out here, this plane, so that's going to be the highest point of the cut if all works well. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to just knock a little nail in. Yeah. I think we might plunge and then cut and then come round and try and follow. Yeah, I'm trying to work in a kind of a plane through the timber to get this to just drop really sweet. So, oh yes, we need to remodel the front just to allow a little bit more space for legs. We've both kind of had a sit in it, and we both think it's just could do with just a little bit of remodeling at the front. We need to make it. It's got to be. It would be nice if it was comfortable, wouldn't it? After all of this.
Go on then, how successful was that?
It was 80%, shall we go with? Our problem being, we haven't got a completely flat surface to obviously try this on. And truth be known, the kind of surface that this chair is going to fit on probably isn't going to be level anyway. So really, I think the key to it is to make sure it's stable, doesn't rock. What I don't want is when someone sat on it to sit there kind of rocking. And I mean, as it stands at the moment, it is surprisingly comfortable, and of course you can lean forward on the seat. I like it. Hi, I'm Al Watson. Thanks for visiting. We're just marking out the seat height here in the Throne of Destiny using an odd pair of dividers. These don't really seem to show a great deal, but they're a great tool. Thanks for visiting.
Right, so where's the seat coming from? How are you doing this?
Well, the seat is going to be, the seat is the only other addition to this. Obviously there isn't any other way of doing it, so unfortunately, this is just going to be two-piece construction. I suppose at the beginning of this we said it was just going to be a single piece, but that single piece makes up the bulk of the chair. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to cut a little rebate all the way around here. We're then going to fit a template in here, and then we're going to cut the piece of timber to size, and we're going to fit it in 3 parts. One part will go in here, another part will go in that side, and then we'll drive the central part in there, and the whole chair itself will fill into that rebate. That's the plan. We're going to hold the chair in place with a run of rivets around here, quite long ones, and I think that will go in and that will tie together with the metal work we've already got. So I'm just going to mark that. Okay, good. So I think I'm fairly confident we've got that line in there all at the same height. We do need to do a remodel here of this and this side just to open it up a touch. So I think what we might do is move back onto our mat and get going. We just had a massive timber wasp fly across. I think he's in the process of laying some eggs in our Atlas pine here. They look so, well, they look so scary really. They've got like a spike on their bum that's about 10 mil long. I don't think they can sting you, but it's one of those creatures that you really wouldn't want to find out if they could. Here in the UK, I mean, I think I've seen about 3 in my lifetime. I mean, this guy's probably about 2 inches long. I think he's in the process right now. I mean, he's just down here to give you an idea. You can see my finger, or my fat sausage, pointing at him there. He really is quite something. They like dead trees, if I'm not mistaken. And the little bum spike, to use the correct term, lays an egg or a little larva into the tree, and then the wasp will burrow around in the tree and then, I presume, fly away. Quite nice to see, a little bit of wildlife, eh? Yeah, so we knew we were going to have to do some remodelling round here. It's just going to open up the front of the chair. I think it's going to make it a little bit easier to get in and out of. It is at the moment a little bit of a crush in there. So we've just kind of like, we've just made some rough drawings here. So we're just going to open this up, and this side as well. Mild bit of shaping, so let's crack on, eh? Very hot for that today. I think that's given it some sort of shape. Opened up the front a bit more. Yeah, you know. Oh, actually, that's way too low. You're actually sitting here. Kind of like that, actually. Is that a bit too high?
Is it?
We've had a bit of it's not really an issue, I suppose, a design point. And we've marked up the chair, so this is where you sit. Now, I actually think you kind of, we'll have a look at this, but I think it's kind of obscuring a lot of the detail of the seat. So I think what we might end up doing is actually lowering the seat by 5 inches to about here. Now that actually is remarkably comfortable. Not that it was uncomfortable with those 5 inches above, but I think it's kind of, I like this around that.
It's regal.
Yes, I think that you're losing the chair if that seat's too high up. That's a nice, you know, that's a nice height. I mean, the chair, you know, that's comfortable. The whole feeling of this chair is to be like monolithic, you know, to be kind of a large, you know, kind of structure. So having the chair that high up, which is what I kind of said 500 is the measurement, is too high. So, you know, thankfully we've restruck those lines, they're sat there ready to go. Now, hatefully, the next process is sanding the inside. I don't want to fit that, we don't want to fit the actual seat of the chair without this being sanded, because then really we're marching towards the end of the project almost. There's still a lot of work to go, but you know, hopefully you can see where we're going with it. It's one of those things, if you look at this today, it doesn't look like we've done a great deal, but slowly catchy monkey kind of scenario. I think I'm quite pleased with the remodelling that we've had here. I'm glad we found out that this height for the seat wouldn't work, or it loses a lot of that kind of, you know, it places your head here instead of here. So, you know, you lose a lot of the detail because it's all behind your shoulders. You know, you're losing these ties. When someone's sitting in the chair's just gonna, you know, it won't look as, dare I say it, magnificent as it would otherwise. So, unfortunately, probably the next 2 hours is just sanding the inside here, sanding these, getting this kind of finished. So, what we'll do is I think Mark's going to, camera boy, sorry, he's going to film the start of that process. But really, he's just going to have to leave me to it. So, let's get more vibration white finger on the go.